For the first time since 2021, Levi, the Seahawks beat the San Francisco 49ers. They win 20 to 17. They're now 5-5. The same record as the 49ers, Levi. And my question to you, just right off the bat, obviously a great win. That's no denying it. But does this kind of mean the season's back on?
Yeah, it does, Drew. It does. If we
Okay.
lost this game, we'd be 4-6. We'd be two back of the Cardinals. We'd be two back of the Niners. It would have been tough to dig out of that. But at 5-5, you're a game behind Arizona, and now I don't think Arizona's a juggernaut. Do you think Arizona's a juggernaut?
I mean, they're not a juggernaut. I think they're a better team than us, sure. But
Yeah,
this is a
and the Rams are now tied with us. They have the tiebreaker, but again, are they a juggernaut?
no, no.
So we
So
could do that totally. Why not? Why can't the season be back on?
yeah, I'm with you. I think there's a pretty good chance that the Seahawks can kind of try to sink their way into the playoffs at this point in the season. Still probably under 50%, but look, coming into this game, I was expecting a loss and I was expecting to go 4-6, and 4-6 isn't a death sentence in the NFL, but it's getting there. It's getting close. So it was a crucial game. And credit to Mike McDonald and credit to that Seattle team. Credit to Geno Smith, Levi, for leading that team down. I know it wasn't great. He went 25 for 32, 221, and the INT, just 20 points on the board. However, those last couple, that last drive, 2-minute drill to go the length of the field, you need a touchdown to win it. That was impressive. That was really impressive stuff by Geno Smith. And he was the guy that ran it in for the TD score.
Yeah, Gino played well. I mean, look, I have a bit of a love hate relationship with Gino,
Yeah.
and I don't think he's been particularly great this year. But he's had his moments, and he fought back, and he did what he needed to do at the end of the game. He did what he needed to do. Um,
And I think once again, this kind of shows Levi, like, Geno Smith is not good enough by any means to win a Super Bowl here in Seattle. I do think he's good enough to get this team to the playoffs. I do.
well, he's already done it. He's already and we've
Yeah,
seen
he
that.
did it once. It was kind of a Mickey Mouse type thing, 9-7. He relied on like a last second Lions win. But yes, he's already done it once. But this is, a guy once again who's in the top half quarterbacks right around. Like he's a very
Yeah,
mediocre quarterback.
14th, 15th best. It's obviously, we'll talk about this in future videos. It's a tough spot to be in long term, but yeah, for right now, he's doing what he needs to do. Smith and Jigma again, he's just
He
breaking out.
he lit
He
it
is,
up.
and this is like the third week in a row that we have seen this guy just go off. I mean,
Yeah.
another 100-yard day for him. He really just kind of, when DK got hurt, he kind of just started to shine. And it's funny
He's
because just a month ago, people were saying, "Oh, he might be a bust. Did we whiff on that pick?" And now it's like, yeah, no, he looks like a star. He looks like he could definitely has top 10 receiver potential in him.
Yeah, he is, and he's right now wide receiver two. He could even be argued for the Seahawks that he's kind of 1B with DK Metcalf right now. Love Tyler Lockett, but he's definitely taking that back seat kind of later on in his career. And it's not necessarily Tyler's been a lot worse of a player. It's kind of you see the emergence of Jackson Smith and Jigba, and it's kind of the X graph where it also just happens to be where Tyler Lockett is
Yeah.
also kind of descending. So it's the perfect opportunity for Jackson Smith and Jigba. Levi, kind of just stick on topic here as far as kind of where this, puts the Seahawks overall at a season standpoint. So you got the Cardinals coming up a week from today in Seattle. Then you got the Jets,
Yeah.
and then the Cardinals once again. This time it's in Arizona. These next 3 weeks, no team's a pushover. The Jets have not looked great at all. They're not a pushover either. These next 3 weeks, Levi, are, I think, the most critical 3 weeks to really see what the Seahawks can do for the rest of the year. Because let's say the Seahawks go 0-3, well, now the season's over. But if the Seahawks can scrounge two of the next three, I think all of a sudden they're in a really good spot to kind of make a run for the playoffs. If that be either in the NFC West or if that's in the wild card.
Yeah, I think you have to. I think you have to win two of the next three. And I think
Ideally, it's two Cardinals wins, obviously.
ideally,
But
I think I'm looking at the schedule. Cardinals are probably going to win 9 games. They have the Patriots, they have the Panthers. I think they get to 9. So I think we have to get to 10, right? Is that, or maybe we'd have the tiebreaker over
We
them.
would have the tiebreaker if we beat them twice, for example.
We beat them twice. But the Jets, we have to beat the Jets. I mean, we can't lose to the Jets.
Correct. And that was a game that at the start of the season, I said we would have a loss against them. I think you said you would have a loss against them. Now the Jets are a team that look, they
That's a
lost.
win.
They lost to the
Yeah,
Colts today.
that we
It's
have to.
turning into a must win, especially when you look down the schedule. I mean, the Jets are the easiest team on the schedule, Levi. I mean, they
Oh
are.
yeah,
In the next 7 weeks, you got Cardinals twice, Rams, Packers, Vikings, and then you have the Bears. The Bears is the
yeah.
only one that's kind of
So
arguable, but the Bears have shown some fight.
we play the Bears at home or on the road?
Bears the day after Thanksgiving or the day after Christmas, excuse me, in Chicago. It'll be a cold Chicago, windy
So,
day
because if we were
for
at home, I would be pretty confident we beat them.
no, it'll
On
be
the
a toss up.
road,
That's a toss up in my mind. It
on the
is.
road, it's a toss. I still think we win. I think we win that game. Probably lose to Minnesota, lose to the
Yeah.
Packers. So that means it's going to come down to the division games. If you beat the
Yeah,
Jets,
it'll
beat
come
the
out 2 games.
Bears,
Yeah.
you got to win probably two. Yeah, I mean if you go 9-8 with a splitting with Arizona, split with the Rams, split with the Niners, this
Puts you in a good
division could
spot.
get really interesting as far as tiebreakers go. We
It
we could.
already is interesting. The
I
fact
mean,
there's not any losing teams. I mean, the Cardinals could very easily be 5-5 right now. We'd have four teams all
yeah,
500 through 10 games.
I think I'm gonna have to run it through the playoff simulator and see who, because I think there's a real possibility that we end up with multiple teams finishing 9-8. And
Hmm.
then also, I don't think everyone keeps splitting. Like we split with the Niners. I think we probably split with the Cardinals.
Which,
Maybe we split with the Rams.
yeah,
What happens if there's like three teams that are 9-8 and they're all have split with each other in the division?
I
Where do
know.
you go? It's like it comes into like conference record comes into play, all
Yeah,
sorts of
yeah.
tiebreakers.
And
I
it's
don't
crazy.
know.
It's
I don't know
crazy.
what would happen there.
Well, Levi, you mentioned we've split with the Seahawks have split with the 49ers. And kind of switching more towards the game focus. This was what, like, just as a Seahawk fan, to finally beat the 49ers after losing
Oh yeah.
six straight.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
we've been waiting. I think the last time they won, I was with you. I think it
What,
was. It
were we?
was,
It might have been.
yeah. And
It was towards the end of Russell's time, and
tenure, yes, yes.
wasn't it? I think Jimmy Garoppolo might have been injured the last time we beat them. I think it was
Towards the end of the
CJ
year,
Beathard.
it was a lot of consequences of the game. There was also the game that I believe remember it was like for the I think it was for the division and reaching for the end zone and it was like a half yard short. I think it was a tight end on the play. It was against the 49ers, like last week of the season.
Well, that was 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah, I remember that.
Was that before the 2021
That was
stuff?
before that was
Okay.
before 2020. Yeah.
But it's
Yeah,
the
they
battles
got
that
us a couple times with Jimmy G, and then he got hurt. And I think we beat Nick Mullins twice, maybe or something like that.
well, it's
But yeah,
crazy.
no,
We're
I mean it feels
16 and
really good
yeah.
to
16
beat
and
their
3.
starter.
16 and 3 and now 0 and 6 and now we
Yeah,
get 1 and 0 in the last, game against them. Just a really storied history between these two teams that finally the Seahawks are on the right end of things in the recent past. And this was another good game. You kind of mentioned Jackson Smith and Jigba, Kenneth Walker, he was okay. Geno Smith was okay. The big man Jonathan Hankins in his 12th year with the INT. That was absolutely massive. Good for him. I was super happy for him. Maybe the coolest moment of the day for the Seahawks. So Levi, looking forward, obviously there's a lot of big games to be played. Outside of Geno Smith, who's that one guy you're going to be really watching out for and kind of the guy that you think, okay, if he goes off, I'm going to have confidence that this team will be able to make the playoffs. Who's that X factor outside of Geno Smith for you?
X factor outside of Geno. I mean, there's a lot, but I think the X factor is Mike McDonald as a coach. You're looking at Mike McDonald, and for the past 5, 6 weeks, ever since that losing streak started, I've been hearing fans say, "Oh, we shouldn't have fired Pete. Mike McDonald isn't the answer. We need to get rid of him. It's a 1 year experiment. We're done with Mike. We
Mm-hmm.
want Pete back. We want somebody else. Give us Ben Johnson." I've been hearing all that, and I kept saying, "Look, we have to give him some time." And what happened today? This was the first time that we've held the 49ers to under 20 points since 2018.
Yeah.
against CJ Beathard, right? We haven't held the 49ers starting quarterback, an actual starter, under 20 points. I don't think since Kaepernick was the last time we've done that because CJ Beathard is not
Legion of
a,
Boom days. Like, we're really going back there now. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's been a long time. McDonald proving himself today. Now, is he going to be able to coach like this every week? That's the real question, right? You look at, again, there's some favorable coaching matchups looking ahead, right? I don't know how he's going to square off with Jonathan Gannon, but Jonathan Gannon's not an amazing coach, so
No.
that could be favorable. And then you got Eberflus, you got the Jets, who I don't know who their coach is. It's like an interim coach. So, I mean, there are some favorable matchups ahead for him as far as I want to see him continue to outcoach these guys and really get that defense cooking. Because I know we have the players on defense, right? I think we have the talent. I think we've known that. You know, Witherspoon and guys like Julian Love, who's been good, Rayshon Jenkins. We have good players on defense, but it's the question of do we have the scheme? Do we have the coaching? And today I saw that. Games past, I haven't necessarily seen that. So I was happy with what I saw today.
Obviously, Mike McDonald is going to be, each and every week an X factor. Levi, someone I want to see kind of continue to show his presence, and someone that I think if he goes off, it's going to bode really well for the Seahawks. Give me Derek Hall to really
Okay.
disrupt, because I think the one problem I've seen from this defense, who to their credit played really good today, still there's a lack of pressure. I mean, Brock Purdy had all day. Purdy was missing
Yeah.
guys. It was straight up. He was missing guys. Our secondary played really well. I want to see this pass rush kind of get going. And if Derek Hall can finish the season, he's at 5 sacks right now. If Derek Hall can finish the season with 10 sacks, so he gets 5 sacks in the next 6 games, I think that shows you that this Seahawks, entire defensive line as a whole and up to the linebacker core as well is pressuring the quarterback to a rate that I like, because that's the one thing defensively I think they still need to do. I like what the secondary is doing. Offensively, I would like Kenneth Walker to continue. He's kind of up and down. I don't think it's his fault necessarily, but again, today, kind of a mediocre day. So if you can get Kenneth Walker going, if you can get Derek Hall going on the defensive side, I think that'll show the Seahawks can do a lot. And then if you kind of flip the coin, the other side of that is if the Seahawks can't get pressure, and you got Kyler Murray back there who just creates mayhem, it's going to be a long few weeks in the next 3 for Seattle.
Yeah, I will say that. I think handling Kyler is going to be interesting. And we've seen McDonald's defense. It's kind of worked in some places, it hasn't worked in other places. They've struggled kind of against the pocket passer, right? I mean, Jared Goff kind of cooked us.
They've struggled
Um,
against most quarterbacks, to be fair.
but we handled Kirk Cousins pretty well, which was a good sign. And we handled Purdy. Not that Kirk and Purdy are elite, but they're not
No,
scrubs. So
no.
yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We haven't really played. Have we played like a rushing quarterback this year? I guess like
I
Josh Allen, kind of, but he's not
Yeah,
the
but
same.
Brock Purdy was looking like a rushing quarterback. Like
That's
he
true.
was he was all over the place today.
But
Brock
this is
Purdy
the
looked
most
like one of
mobile
the more
guy I will
athletic
throw.
quarterbacks in the NFL today, Levi. He did. 5 carries for
Yeah,
40 yards is the only thing, but he was in and out of the pocket all game long.
that's true. And he is kind of underrated mobility.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Did
I
you
mean,
see his like
Kyler
10-yard split is faster than like Christian McCaffrey's?
is that really?
Yeah.
Wow, wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, either way, I mean, I'm happy. Still worried about the some offensive line. You know, Abraham Lucas was back today, which is good to see. The center is just gonna be. I mean,
How
Connor
about that
Williams
retirement?
says he's retiring, so I guess.
And he's done. He's retired. It's
Yeah,
over. Yeah.
I've never really heard of a player getting hurt mid-season and then just calling it, but uh,
Well, he was
you
gonna
know,
play for us. That's a loss for sure. He's gonna lose some
yeah,
of that money too. So I don't know. It's
I
gonna be an
was told he was
interesting.
going to be a great center by some people that I really trust, and it just didn't happen. But new center, same problems because we had another 17-yard loss today from a
That was
snap
on. That was on
straight over
Gino.
Geno's.
That was on.
That was on Gino.
I thought it was on Gino.
Interesting.
It's kind of off his fingertips. I don't know. Either way, it's yeah. That's like
Yeah,
been a consistent problem. All right, Levi.
gotta,
Well,
gotta learn how to catch a snap.
gotta learn how to catch the snap. Seahawks. They learn how to play defense today. They win 20-17. a few big consequential weeks. We'll have post game slash these types of videos out for you. We've both been very busy. However, we've got some breaks coming up, so hopefully we'll have more time to get videos out very shortly. That will do it for the NW Sportscast. Drew Albaugh alongside Levi Couvertain. So long, everybody. And as always,
Go Seahawks.
go Seahawks. See you guys.